Hey Academy Answers, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for listening, thanks for joining. It is a pleasure to have you here. And this is the Personal Development Podcast, a podcast that gives you the practical strategies on how to achieve the highest, truest version of yourself, as Oprah Winfrey put it, to maximize your potential. Because you're not trying to go up against anyone else. You're trying to go up against your old self. You're trying to find out how far you can go, how much potential you have. And potential is unlimited. You will die with potential inside of you. That means that the sky is the limit. You can actually take yourself to any level you want. I know that sounds weird and off, maybe because your belief system has been indoctrinated to think otherwise. Because when you're a child, you were born thinking you could do anything. You would just step off somewhere high. You would just try to fly. You would try to do all these things because there was nothing in you that tell you that you couldn't. But as you grow up, as you go through the socialization process, more and more people tell you, don't do that, you can't do that, that's not going to work, you don't do that, you can't do that. And you become conditioned that way because conditioning is real. It actually affects our psyche and our behavior. So you have to decide what you want, and you have to reprogram your mind, as my friend Daly often say. You must reprogram the whole programming that they have offloaded on you, because most of what you're saying you can or you cannot do, you can do it, but because you have been programmed to think otherwise by people who are fearful and people who don't believe for themselves and people who have been conditioned also into that way. So I'll tell you the story about conditioning, but before I do that, I'll answer the question, and then I'll just kind of wrap it up with that story to make you understand. Or maybe I'll tell the story for us. I don't know. Let's talk. So the question is, all my life I've been talked about, I've been judged, I've been criticized. And I think over the years, having failed these criticisms and hate to talk, for want of a better word, I think has eroded my confidence, because somewhere along the line, I feel like they might be right because I don't have the correct results, or I don't have results to disprove those things that people say in terms of I can't do this, or I shouldn't do that, or that is not going to work, and I have not been able to make it work. And nobody started great. That's the first thing. No one start out great. People start out with an ability, base level ability, a base level skill, a base level talent, a base level competence. What actually takes people to a higher level, what actually take people to a higher level of competence, skill, success, achievement, is owning their craft, working on that skill, developing that skill, that talent, that seed to a level that is notable in the world, that can contribute, can shift, that can create impact. I've heard Steve Harvey use this analogy about the seed. When you're planting a seed, you dig the ground, you pour dirt on the seed. It's covered down there in the ground. Dirt is all over it. You can't see it. Then, as time goes by, the potential and power in that seed prove to be stronger than the dirt. Look at a seed. Look at a pea, for example. Tiny pea. My grandma used to make us plant peas and corn. We would dig what is at least a 6-inch hole, and we would put that corner that peas in, and we'd pour dirt on it, and we'd use our feet and kind of just cover it properly. In a couple of days, that pea found potential strength and power to push through its pods and push through the dirt that we use to cover it, and come up looking awesome, a good plant, and go on further to mature into providing food, into providing results, producing results. And that's the same thing that's happening with you. People are talking about you. That's the dirt they're putting on you. People are criticizing you. People are judging you. All that is dirt. But when that dirt comes, you cannot decide that you are going to shut down because you are not getting the results yet. On day one, that seed doesn't come up. On day two, that seed doesn't come up. That seed takes about 7 to 11 days to come up, if I remember correctly. So you have to keep working and building that potential, because it's your mistakes, it's the failures that are going to open the way to your wins, to your successes. Most people don't move because they are hunkered down and crippled by failures. Most people don't move because they're hunkered down and crippled by failures, and they think that everybody else who they see doing it never failed at anything. So there's this guy at the Grammys, and he's a producer at the Grammys. I don't remember his name, that has won 10 Grammy Awards as a producer. And when they were interviewing him, they say, hey man, look, nobody has ever done this. What is it? What's the magic that has caused you to do this amazing thing? And he said that there's really no magic. What people see is the 10 Grammys that I won, but they never saw the 90 projects that failed. He's saying I did 100. Nobody see the 90. They only see the 10 that actually made it there. So there are always failures. And unless you can tunnel through that, you're not going to reach great success. Unless you can shake off and stave off the critics, the naysayers, the cynics, if you can't stand that pressure, you will not do it, because there's enough of that out there to suck the energy from your dreams and from your process. You have to commit to your process, and you have to believe in it so much that even in the midst of piles and piles of failure, you believe that you are figuring this thing out. You're seeking help, you're making intelligent choices, and you're sticking, improving, and working on your process every single day. And we've been conditioned to fail because we are human beings, and our nature is wired for comfort and to avoid pain. But pain and discomfort are the roots to success. Pain and discomfort are the root to success. You remember when you're a kid and you're trying to get something, you fell. When you're trying to walk, you blundered when you're trying to talk and to become literate and numerate. You do so many wrong things, but it's between those things that you develop the skills. Failures are inevitable, and people will always be saying something. I remember the first time I decided that I want to speak some more. I want to do videos. I want to talk to people. And I decided that the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to, every opportunity that I get, because I've been called upon, and I, have, kind of had that courage or confidence to go out and say things early in my life. But after a while, I've lost that. It took me 1 entire year to do a video and put it up online. 1 year after I decided that I want to do it. So I decided in that process that I was gonna volunteer to say graces, prayers, to give a toast at holidays, birthdays, whatever event there were, just to build my confidence in small groups. So this time I went, this was my friend's son's birthday party, and it was at this house that has a balcony and a pool in the middle, and everybody was standing around the pool and we were talking. And it's time to say grace, and they say, who's going to pray first? And I decided I'm going to hold up my hands. Hold up my hands, volunteered, decided to pray. When I was finished, there's this girl that I knew, she was right beside me. She said, you sounded nervous though, Lord, and she laughed. And I was in my mind, you see, we have about 100 people in attendance. The question was asked, who want to pray? No one held up their hands. I stood up and held up my hands. And that's the first thing that person comment was, you sound nervous. Of course I was nervous. But it is not the critics who count, nor the man who point out where doers of good deeds have done them wrong. It is the man who is in the arena, who show up, who do things, who understand that there is no success without failure, as one great American president said. Those are the people who actually go out there and do things. And you must believe that, look, everybody will come at you, things will come at you, life itself will come at you, loved ones will come at you. They won't believe in you, you'll see it on their faces, you'll hear it in their voices. Some of them will just come straight out and tell you. But you must get past those things. You must get past those things. You must stand up. And until you build that emotional toughness in you, you will have a difficult time getting to any great levels of success, because the road to success is not straight. It's going to have all these bumps. They're going to come in all different forms, financial, social, everywhere they're going to come from, because people are used to mediocrity. 90%, above 90% of the world live in a mediocre way. They live a mediocre life. If you are striving to do something better that's outside of the norm, they will not like it. They will not agree with it. It won't match what they think of you. People don't even want you to change because they don't want to change the way they have to look at you and deal with you. But as Jay-Z said once, he said that, how can I work so hard and still be the same? How can I work so hard to get where I am and still be the same? I have to change. How will you not change and get to where you want to get to? How can you stay the same if you want to get to a different place? How can you stand in the same position on the mountain and try to see a different view of the city? You cannot. So you must decide, you must have the courage. I think it was Aristotle who said that courage is the greatest attitude of the mind next to honor. You must be courageous, you must be brave, and you must be bold to step to what you want to step to and stop allowing external people, judgment and criticism to get the better of you. We are all human beings. I know that it gets to you and it can get to you. But you have to understand that, look, this is going to come. This is a part of my process. It's a part of the journey. This is what's going on here, but it doesn't matter. I don't care, because at the end of the day, you cannot allow your results to be as a consequence of others thinking, because you are the one, you and your family will have to live with your results. When it's all said and done, no one cares. No one really cares. Pretty much your talking point, your news item, your sound bite for people. Once they see you or once they hear about you and they talk about you, they're on to the next one. Big mouths usually have an empty life, a small life, because their mouth is so big, they don't spend any time working on their life. They're spending their time mouthing down your life. Opinions, talking about what they don't know, judging you, criticizing you when they have no information. Most people who are successful or are doing great things don't have time to do that. So the first consolation is that they are losers. Why would you allow the opinions of losers to affect you? Opinions are the lowest form of knowledge because they require nothing of those who propose them. You can just give your opinion and go on. You don't have to have facts, you don't have to have intelligence, you don't have to have sense, you don't have to have experience. You can just give your opinion. They are the lowest forms of knowledge. So they're everywhere, they're common, and everybody's spewing them, and people who don't have any life is ready to judge your life. Let them judge, let them talk, go and win. The greatest revenge is massive success. Go and win, get to where you want to get to in life, and you will see a ton of them willing and ready to come and jump on your bandwagon when you're there. And some of them will still be talking bad about you. If you walk on water, they will say you cannot swim. If you walk on water, they'll say it's because you cannot swim. You will not be able to please them. If damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you might as well do anyway. That's it. Do good, be successful, for you'll be criticized anyway. So continue on your journey, own your process, put it on your calendar, set your goals, get your actionable steps, work on them every day, fight for your discipline, stay courageous, do and involve yourself in personal development, and surround yourself with people who are on the same mission as you. You don't have to be bogged down or be bothered with all that noise and the naysayers, because tell you what's going to happen. As you work, as you grow, as you commit to achieving your goals, you'll move further and further and further away from them. And when they're talking, you'll be too far from them to hear. They won't be in your league. So league up and keep crushing it. Go for it. Thanks for reaching out. Thank you guys for listening. It's always a pleasure. Share this podcast with somebody who you think might need to hear. I appreciate your support so much. Have a good one.